Michelle Tyler is my name. Well, I'm Australian born and I'm a British citizen as well. I lived in the UK for longer than I lived in Australia actually. I've lived in the US for going on, it'll be 7 years in February next year. I'm a photographer as I shoot newborns and 1 and 2 year olds. Yeah, that's it. That's what I do for money. I felt connected to nature since I was a kid, and I always think, isn't everybody? My grandfather bought me the David Attenborough hardcover, his first book. I love that book. I read it so much. It's just almost trashed, but I've still got it with me. I've carried it with me everywhere I've lived. I used to play outside all the time when I was a kid, and there was a lot of animals and wildlife in Australia when I was a kid, not so much now unfortunately. There were frogs and cicadas and butterflies in abundance, just everywhere. And I had a pet snake, I had a pet lizard, I had pet spiders, the whole thing. I just loved animals, and I don't know, I just thought everyone was like that. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on any particular animal, but I do love baby elephants. Crazy. My personal thing is plastic, because I think that is something that is really an easy fix, but most people don't think about plastic when they buy it, whereas I think about every single piece of plastic that I buy. I try and help people go through their homes, like say room by room, start in the bathroom for example, and look at all the plastic that you have and what you can swap for non-plastic. So shampoo and conditioner can be solid, your moisturiser can be solid too, or you can buy it in glass. There's a lot of things that you can do, and you can have zero plastic. You really can, especially in your bathroom. Same with your laundry. Think about the plastic that actually makes up the detergents that you use. Yes, there is plastic in detergents that you use. Those little pods, they're actually contained in PFAS, which we now know is killing people and giving them all sorts of diseases and stuff, and we're trying to desperately get it out of the water. Although I don't think that it's an individual problem. The problem is caused by, say, 100 corporations and billionaires, and they need to be regulated, and the government needs to do that, not us. But as individuals, we can collectively have an impact on that. So, for example, you can use the BDS and boycott, divest and sanction brands that you know are treating the planet egregiously or committing ecocide. Pepsi and Coca-Cola, like they steal water, they're the biggest plastic polluters on the planet. So as an individual you can stop buying those products. If your bank invests in any of the companies that you know are doing these terrible things to the planet, you can divest your money from them. Retirement fund that's invested in something like fossil fuels, then you can move that money. That makes a huge difference, because they're using that money to perpetuate the climate crisis. BDS movement's been around I think for about 20 years. It started when I moved to London and I was about 19. BDS movement is boycott, divest and sanction, and you can maybe do only one of those things, maybe you can do all three of them. But if you can at least get on board with that, find out more about it, you can follow that movement on Instagram, or if you're on Twitter, you can find out more and get more involved with that. But they do actually, it works, it really works. I think the government should be doing more, but I also think the government is often in cahoots. So it's like you're pushing against them, they're the problem. But yeah, that's BDS. Word of mouth is a great thing to be able to do, to communicate to people and not be afraid to say, well, I didn't know you were using that as a plastic option. There are alternatives. If you really love Starbucks, then take your own cup. You don't need to take a plastic cup away from there. Things like that really do have an impact. That's kind of where my passion lies.